Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. I will kill you both. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. I will rip your heart out from your chest and crush it like I did my chalice. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the story-driven gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're hopping back into the Great Ace Attorney adventures. In the last episode we started the trial for the final chapter, the defense of Gina Lestrade, and we got to meet the Skulkin brothers, as they call themselves. And they're a funny little pair, very stereotypically British. I like them though, they're funny. And that does put a bit of a damper on my theory that was, what'd I say, McGilded and AG. Unless they happen to be there as well. 3 groups were there or something wacky like that. But as far as we know, the two brothers are the 2 silhouettes we saw that shot at Sholmes. And we got confirmation that they did shoot at Sholmes through the witness testimony. We found out that they did shoot at Sholmes, and we got the evidence because the bullet that's in the calendar is and then the green blood, that's Sholmes' blood. I believe we verified that for sure. And then other than that, we did another jury summation examination. We got to pin some of the jurors against each other. Oh yeah, the stereoscope thing. We got to, two almost identical, pictures of the crime scene, put them together and do, the stereoscope trick. And we found out that it looks like some of the items on Windibank's desk have been moved. So, and we concluded that the only people that could have tampered with it are the Skulkin brothers. So, we're calling them back in as witnesses and trying to find out what the heck is going on. Those are the important bits. I think that's about it. I kind of just want to get right into it and continue with this trial. Back in court. Order, please. Let us resume proceedings. Witnesses, you will now retake the stand. Do it. Hey there. I don't remember what voices I gave him. It's been like about a week since I last recorded, I think. Maybe a little bit less. I presume you heard the defense counsel's summation examination? Oh, yeah, Governor. See what I mean? That's a very stereotypical British saying. I did, Gov, I did. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. God blimey! This is going to be hard work. You can do this. Just put up with them a little while longer. Earlier in this trial, you gave the following testimony about your actions after you entered Windibanks. Yes, give me that reminder. Well, it was bedlam soon as, weren't it? It was, Nosh, it was. Didn't even have time to pull me dukes out of my Lucy lockets. That's British for pockets, apparently. However, that was a lie. Sure was. You brothers... God blimey! On the night in question, you rifled through the items on the victim's counter. We never done nothing of the sort. How'd you figure that out? Oh, you silly goobers. Oh crap. You will now get formal testimony once again. This should be good. You will tell the court precisely what happened on the night in question, and this time you will tell the truth. Each lie that passes your lips serves to increase the severity of your punishment. I will kill you both. And that, gentlemen, may deal a crushing blow to your chances of ever seeing the light of day again. I will rip your heart out from your chest and crush it like I did my chalice. A thought worth pondering, perhaps? Say no more, Gov, we hear ya. We're Blab, we're Squeak, we're Peach. All 3 of them. Oh my gosh. I like how Grigson is still on the side there, just chilling, like, hello, I'm still here. Illegal entry, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Alright, we did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we heard the gunshots, eh? Made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Is that so? Lumi, it didn't have to give me a fright. We were thinking the shooter came out and get us next. We took everything back when we found it and scarpered straight into him in the black. Ah. We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker, see? We never even had a chance, did we? Okay, if that's... I guess that could make sense as to why they also shot at Sholmes if they were startled. Like, if they, obviously we know that they were there snooping around and trying to steal stuff, We already know they were up to no good. But, if they just heard a gunshot and knew somebody else was in there with a gun, and then out of nowhere we disappeared, maybe they didn't even notice where we came from. They just heard us, walk in or whatever, and they might have just been like, oh crap, and shot, I mean, they might have done that anyway, just the thought of being caught. Interesting. Huh, so you admit to the defense's accusation? You did indeed ransack Mr. Winterbake's countertop on the night in question. Not ransack, Governor, no. That's right, Nash, that's right. It's more like we tied it up, yeah? Sure you did. In the middle of the night. I'm gonna kill you. Sorry. By their own admission, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery under dubious circumstances. However, they panicked and fled in hearing the gunshot, having first made good their mess. The way you say it, we hardly sound like roughs at all. We sound like pussies. We don't, Nash, we don't. Can't you make us sound a bit more cutthroat? Can't it be coincidence that these men showed up at Winterbank's that night? There's more to the testimony than meets the eye. I'm sure of it. Indeed. Okay. That's right, I only have three health chunks left. Okay. We did knock a few things over, but we weren't rifling for nothing. It was when we'd heard the gunshot, see? It made us both jump and all that stuff went flying. Lumi, it didn't have to give me a fright. We were thinking the shooter come out the door and get us next. We stuck everything back where we found it and scarpered straight into him in the black. Are you talking about, Ryunosuke? Or are you talking about, like, a dark part of the room? We couldn't have shot the pawnbroker. We never had a chance. I kind of want to press that. Hold it! I should look at my evidence again, too. And why should we believe that? What? Well, because it's true, isn't it? The place was totally empty when we went in. At that time, the victim was already in the storeroom, having been forced to open the door by the accused who had a gun to his head. Haha. In other words, on the night in question, these two witnesses never even laid eyes on the proprietor of the pawnbrokery, Mr. Winterbank. Correct? You've got it, mister! Down to a T! There will be no patty cake in my courtroom. So the Skulking brothers never actually encountered Mr. Winterbank? Is that really true, I wonder? That's it? That's the full extent of their testimony? What is it, Runo? You look very fierce. I could pour you some herbal tea if you're tired. Oh, thank you, but I'm fine. Being such a logical thinker, you'll probably laugh. Probably. But I feel as though these brothers are still hiding something important. There's nothing more than a feeling, though. I have no proof to support it. Well, feelings can be very logical at times. Sorry? Or did I say illogical? People's expressions, the movements of their eyes, the words they choose. You can take all that in, your brain will quietly analyze it to come up with a feeling like you described. You conclude that there's nothing suspicious about the testimony without knowing why, that's all. I think you should trust your instincts. Iris, thank you. Except when I do that, I often get a blast of my health taken off. Sometimes I think she's 10 years old. I must be 5. You and me both know I'm much smarter than you, Runo. So I don't know. I'm gonna look at my evidence, but I want to see if I have any evidence that they didn't have a chance to shoot him. Okay, I don't think this matters. There's the blood samples. Yeah, I don't think that'll help us here. I mean, worst comes to worst, I can just keep pressing until I run out of things to press. Yeah, I don't think we have anything, really. So let's keep pressing them on stuff. Let's just go from the beginning.
Hold it!
Hold it! If that's the case, then why didn't you testify to that effect in the first place? Well, you know, it ain't exactly squeaky clean, are we? No, you're not.
We ain't, Nash, we ain't. If we admitted to something like that, people would think we was up to no good. I solemnly swear I was not up to no good.
Well said, Ringo, me old China. We'd only land ourselves in even more trouble. And in fact now, as a result of lying in your previous testimony, you are in fact in more trouble. That's exactly what you've done. Landed yourselves in even more trouble. Exactly. Ah, well, whoopsies.
That's rotten luck. Core blimey.
Says the rotten apple eater. Witnesses, explain your actions to the court. Why did you ransack the victim's counter? We never ransacked nothing.
Right, Nash, right. More like we tidied the place up.
Yeah, like, what? I don't buy that.
Sorry.
Yeah, nice try there. Okay, so when you hear the gunshot, okay. Tell us about that. So, what you're saying is, the sound of the gunshot shocked you so much, you knocked all those things off the counter? Well, it shocked one of us that much, yeah? This bag of nerves needs to learn to keep its shirt on.
Look, it was loud, alright. Blimey, me dead granny would have woken up to that bang.
Big brother here screamed like a blooming baby and fell over on the counter. He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick, and some skull or whatnot.
Like I tangled some marionette what knocked over a picture frame, what knocked them scales on the floor.
You really mastered working quietly then. You are a master at your craft.
What a racket. Me granny would have been scared back into her grave at the clatter like that.
So in short, the gunshot took you by surprise. And then some. I mean, it was quiet as a mouse, and then all of a sudden, BAM! Oh, what do you got to say about that, Grigson?
Excuse me.
Inspector Grigson, do you have something to add? Nah, I'm just enjoying my fish and chips, don't mind me. Like I keep saying, I don't appreciate being lumped in with these scoundrels. No, something to add about their testimony, I mean? You seem to react just now, what Mr. Skulkin said. Did it make you think of something? Maybe. It's probably nothing, of course. I wouldn't even bother to mention it. Only... Yes? Well, the fact is, cases don't get solved if you ignore the little details. How about you just tell us what's on your mind? I can't read your mind. Alright, if you insist. As you know, we brought these fellas into the yard for questioning last night. And the statement they gave then told a slightly different story to what they're saying now.
Busted.
Did it?
You claimed you heard the victim shout something out before the gunshot.
Might have, Gov, might have. Does ring a bell now you mention it.
Interesting. So what do they hear?
Granted, it's only a minor detail, but still. I can't help feeling like perhaps you've been a bit sloppy with your testimony here, eh, fellas? If I discover the witness's testimony has been any more sloppy than it has hitherto proven to be, I shall be forced to bring the very harshest punishment to bear against them. Easy, easy.
We'll get right this time.
That's it, yep. It's all coming back to me now.
Right.
Then speak, you imbeciles.
Supplement your testimony with whatever details you have miraculously returned to your questionable mind, sirs.
Right you are, Gov.
Okay. Just before the gunshot, we heard a voice yelling out, "Give me that gun!" Is that the only new thing? Oh. The bloke what owned the place was holding a gun, so Should have just fired instead of yelling at that girl. So wait, it was him who was yelling? Okay. Obviously we gotta press these points.
Hold it!
Give me the deets. So in fact, you heard the voice and the gunshot almost simultaneously?
We did, Gov, we did.
Although, I suppose if you're being honest, we heard a kind of wavering voice before the yell and all.
If you don't want to get shot.
Give me that gun! Bam!
Do you like our reenactment? Kind of thing.
Well done, guys, well done. Thanks for the play-by-play. A career in acting tragically missed. You should have pursued a different calling, gents. And where were the voices coming from? Could you tell?
Of course we could. From the other side of that door behind the counter it was.
From the storeroom, where the victim was found dead. And the voice you heard... It was that of the victim, Mr. Winterbank.
Oh yeah! Oh, my granny's life, of course it was.
Oh, me too. I want to do it too. Ha! On his granny's life, of course it was.
When you have the same granny, if you're... Never mind. Unless they're not really brothers, like... Are they part of, like, a gang or something? And they just refer to each other as brothers? Is that why Gregsy's, like, part of it? I assumed this whole time that they were actual brothers. Maybe they're not. But who knows? So that would mean... that you both knew Mr. Winterbank and the sound of his voice? Ah, that would imply that.
Eh? So that would mean what?
What, Nash, what? Any ideas?
Yes, Counsel. Indeed it would. Good call. Oh, damn, we suck at this. Nah. We didn't know the geezer.
How am I supposed to deny it when that bloke in all the fancy clobbers giving us the evil eye?
He's ready to murder them. If you value your lives, you will ensure your testimony is accurate and true.
Oh, on my granny's life it is.
On his granny's life it must be.
It's a good job his granny's dead. Otherwise she'd have plenty to worry about. To summarize then, immediately after hearing the voice of the victim, you then hear the gunshot, causing you to stumble and upset the items on the counter, scattering them over the shop floor.
You make it sound like we're clumsy. I mean, we are, but still.
Don't forget we tied up after that little boys. Anyway, the way I see it.
Okay.
Hold it!
You're saying that Mr. Winterbank had a gun in his hands? How would you know? Oh wait, yeah, how would they know that?
Oh yeah, I bet that was a sight, eh?
Them two waving them guns at each other must have got pretty heated.
I mean, just before he shouted it. We heard the geezer say, if you don't want to get shot.
Oh, maybe they implied it from that?
Didn't really sound like he meant it, mind. More of an empty threat, you could say.
Mr. Winterbank was known to keep a revolver on his shop counter at all times. Very reckless. People say that to protect the articles in his keeping, he'd readily put a bullet in someone's head if required. More like his own. That someone, being himself, of course.
Good grief! Extraordinary devotion, indeed, if alarmingly misguided. Well, he certainly sounded like he was ready to pull the trigger the other night. Only the person he was gonna shoot beat him to it. Cooked his goose proper.
Bet he wished he'd squeezed the trigger instead of wasting time shouting, "Give me that gun!"
And it was directly after those words that you heard the gunshot?
It was more or less at the same time, Gov. Give me that gun! Bam!
Kind of thing.
Deja vu. Yes, a career in acting very tragically missed. Again. Feel like we had this conversation.
Then we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck.
Oh wait, that was... Oh no, Nash is the little guy, right?
Then we heard the sound of someone hitting the deck.
Before everything went dead quiet.
Oh no, he's Ringo.
After that, we done a slapdash jaw tidying the place up.
Okay, we didn't actually glean anything new, unless I'm supposed to present something. Is there any evidence that shows that they shouldn't have known that he had a gun? I mean, we already implied from this first comment that it's weird that they even know what he sounds like. You know, that it sounds like they knew him or met him before. So both of these imply that they were able to see the events. They said that they didn't see anything, right? Maybe if I press them on this again, because now the previous testimony, you know, the fact that they knew it was Winterbanks and saw him, they could have shot him. I'm gonna try that. I don't know if that's what we're getting at here. I'm gonna skip through this. I could be completely wrong. Okay, that did nothing. I'm gonna try just pressing them on the rest of the stuff then, and see if we'll see if we glean anything new.
Hold it!
So you didn't try to open the storeroom door then?
Not in your life.
It went deathly quiet after that, it did. Put the wind right up me. But anyway, the door was locked, weren't it? No way that was opening.
Yes, of course. It was locked from the inside, or so we've been led to believe.
It was, Gov, it was. From the inside.
Right, so we had no way of knowing what was going on there, did we?
Unless there was some other way to get a view of the inside of the storeroom. Like through the keyhole or a spy hole, perhaps. I mean, we did it ourselves. There's a little flap, right?
Don't ring no bells.
Don't light no lights. We had to cut and run before we noticed anything like that.
We're still cutting our teeth in this game, see? But one day,
here we go.
We really cut the mustard.
Maybe they are part of a gang. They have like a little insignia on their back. Please, cut it out. I'm begging you. But as we know, behind the door was the victim's lifeless body, with the accused not 2 feet away. Yes, unfortunately. Yeah. Gina was in there unconscious, with the gun in her hand. To confirm, would it be correct to say that neither of you set foot inside the storeroom?
That's right, Gov. That's right.
couldn't have, even if we'd wanted to.
Okay, I think this is the last thing I have to press.
Hold it!
Right, I didn't do this one yet, right? Yes, whereupon you fired a shot from your own gun at Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh, yeah, we was a bit hasty there. Might be.
We was, Nash, we was. Truth be told, I was already shaking like a leaf when you lot turned up.
If you're shaking like a leaf, don't put a loaded gun in your hand, you silly nuggets. Calm down, Iris.
Good advice, miss, good advice.
You never point a loaded gun at anyone.
Truth be told, me mind went totally blank.
Before your mind goes totally blank, make sure you don't have a loaded gun in your hand.
Mental note made, miss.
Huh.
After that, we legged it down the street, but apparently we looked dodgy to the coppers or something, so they clapped the derbies on us like winking. It's like having a skull insignia on your jacket makes you look suspicious.
And after you'd made handcuffed, the police found this revolver in your possession, correct?
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, listen, that proves it, done it, eh?
Oh boy, okay. So I pressed them on everything, I believe. Let me think. Right, because they were saying that they heard they heard the yelling, right, and the gunshot simultaneously. Oh, that's right. He's yelling, "Give me that gun," which would imply Gina had the gun. Okay, I thought I was onto something, but no, that pans out. Could it be this? Because it says, that's right. We know he was shot in the back, right? So if he was talking to Gina, he'd be facing her. I'm always so nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna mess up. But the statement itself doesn't actually say, like, I think when we press them, they said that they happen, like, simultaneously. I'm gonna go for it.
Objection.
Oh, I don't think that's it. I'm so bad at this. Okay.
Damning, you say? As I look at you, counsel, I see your trembling hand your pallid expression in your perspiring brow. Huh? It seems to me that is the damning inconsistency here, with the misplaced confidence of your assertion.
He has a damning tongue.
You invite, sir.
Okay. My logic was that he's saying he was holding the gun, so he should have just fired, but we know Gina was holding the gun. I mean, it says here Gina was holding when she was found unconscious. Unless there's some other evidence. Let me see the pictures. Oh, the picture shows that she had the gun. Yeah, so I'm gonna try the picture. Because that actually showed Gina holding the gun.
Objection.
There we go. I had the right idea. I just presented the wrong thing. You're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Windibank, was wielding a gun. Is that correct?
That's it, Gov. You've got the picture.
Literally, we have the picture right here.
Yes, now she has. No question.
And yet the photographic evidence from the time of the incident clearly shows that Mr. Windibank was not in possession of a firearm of any description.
Objection.
What do you have to say, boy? You surprise me. Does the defense really intend to highlight evidence that compromises the position of the accused even more? We're just trying to point out inconsistencies here.
Furthermore, the defense has failed to establish that the photographic print presented was taken a suitably short time prior to the victim's death. Your chronology is severely lacking, counsel. Yeah, that's right.
Too right, Nash, too right. The old geezer couldn't have been able to turn the tables on the girl, eh?
Hardly likely. She had a gun after all.
No, I'm afraid this won't stand as conclusive evidence.
I see that point, though.
Continue with the cross-examination, counsel. And heed my earlier warning, witnesses.
A skulkin's never skulkin'.
So wait, that did nothing? Great. I thought I was onto something and now it just brought us right back. I don't think we uncovered new testimony or anything, right? It has to have something to do with the new testimony we uncovered. But we established when we pressed this, like, how did they must have met him before. Because we know that they were in the back room at this time, so again, how would they know that he was holding a gun? They didn't see that picture. Okay, you know what? That's what I'm gonna try. Let's present the crime scene floor plan.
Objection.
I'm so confused. What else do we have? I mean, there was the, we had talked about how he was shot in the back, right? Okay, I'm gonna try it. I really don't know.
Objection.
No, of course not. I think he's saying something different because it won't let me skip it. I don't care. This is the first time I feel like I've genuinely been stuck. Like I've obviously gotten things wrong, but then like one or two tries and I'm like, oh okay, I get what they're going for. But now I'm just like, unless I have to press something again, but I don't think so. We never had a chance. I mean, that's kind of true, right? Because if they were in the back, they couldn't have done it. And there's only a single round fired, which we know was shot at Sholmes. Okay, the gun's not like in this picture, is it? I'm so confused. I really don't know. I don't know. This doesn't make sense, does it?
Objection.
No. This is so bad. I hate this. Okay. It's either got to do with these two statements or the last one. When we presented this, we didn't get a strike, but they said we have to prove chronology, right? That's why I don't understand. So maybe that's like, maybe it didn't take a thing off because I was on the right track, and maybe there's either something else I have to present, or maybe I have to present this to a different point, or something. Or maybe now that we have that information, now I have to press something again. I just don't know what they're getting at. I really don't. I'm confused. I'm tempted to just like try everything, but again, I don't even know what point to press or to present to. I feel like it's this one. Again, I feel like it has to do with how do they know that he was holding a gun if they couldn't, quote unquote, couldn't see him, right?
Objection.
Nope. I'm literally guessing at this point. I just don't know. I feel like I know what they want, what they're getting at, but I don't know what to present to them. Unless I'm supposed to press something. I don't frickin' know. I don't frickin' know. I tried this already, right? Because I thought it would show that they're in the back room, so how would he know that they're holding a gun? But that didn't seem to matter. I tried this already. This is the first thing I presented here that I got wrong. I'm tempted to try pressing them again. Now that we had that little conversation, maybe we can use that if I press them on one of these points again. I'm gonna try it. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. When I pressed them on the second point, this is where they started talking about, like, you know, that they were sure that it was Winterbanks on the other side, and then we were like, are you sure about that? How did you meet him before? So I'm gonna try presenting this, maybe? Because I presented this on the next point, but I want to try presenting this here. Fingers crossed.
Objection.
Nope. I just frickin' don't know. I'm just going in circles. I have no idea. Like, I'm waiting for that moment where something just clicks and I'm like, oh, that's what I need. But I just... Unless I'm just completely on the wrong track. Like I said, I'm pretty sure trying to prove that they couldn't have seen the event if it happened in the storeroom, right? Like, how do they know that the guy was holding a gun? This was at 1 a.m. This picture was at 1:30. I'm gonna try presenting this one.
Objection.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what I'm doing anymore. It's like... There's a chance I might have presented the right thing, but maybe at the wrong statement. Maybe I should be looking at everything again. I mean, unless it's like this... No, it's not this statement, is it? Because they stuck everything back where they found it in Scarpert. Unless we're trying to imply that, like, well, not exactly where you found it, because we saw that, you know, the picture showed that the items were moved. But I think they were close enough to it that... I don't know. I'm about to try anything at this point. I'm at such a loss. I'm at such a loss. So I haven't even touched the blood samples. Does this have anything to do with anything? I mean, I don't think so. We know that Winterbanks was shot there.
Objection.
Nope. This is driving me absolutely nuts. I cannot believe I can't figure this out. This is the first time I've been... I mean, I'm not saying this is the first time I've ever been stuck in an Ace Attorney game, but I mean, like... First time this playthrough where I'm stumped. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try... I had the theory that maybe we're implying that not everything was put back exactly where it was. Because it's slightly off in the picture.
Objection.
No, of course not. That was a... Everything I'm doing right now is a total guess. I mean, that didn't even have anything to do with the new statements. It's gotta have to do with these new statements. I tried pressing everything again. Nothing new is popping up. Should I just go... I'm literally about to go down the list and just, like, present every piece of evidence until I get it right. Like, that's... I'm this close to doing that. Like, I kind of want to... Like I said earlier, I want to have that aha moment, but it's just... not coming to me. There's a chance I'm on the right track and I'm just not understanding what I need to present.
Objection.
I'm pretty sure I tried this already. I can't believe this. I really can't believe this. I'm actually really annoyed.
Objection.
Did I really just do it? Did I really just do it? Finally. It was really just the picture? Is it because he wasn't holding a gun in the picture? So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winterbank, was wielding a gun, is that correct? Oh my gosh, was it really that obvious that in the picture he's not holding a gun? Oh, it's one of those things I feel dumb. But I spent way too much time on that. I apologize. This is... Oh, watch, this isn't the right answer either. That's it, Cove. You've got the picture.
Yes, Nash, yes. No question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winterbank was not holding a firearm of any description. Oh, I feel so dumb. Like literally, yeah. If we're trying to prove that he didn't have the gun, You see, he's not holding a gun there, but that went right over my head.
You what?
Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection!
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winterbank's gun was found at the scene. In Gina's hand. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand.
Yeah, that mall Tula used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun.
Bam! Kind of thing.
Hold it!
Say exactly where you are, right there.
Yeah?
If the crime had taken place as you've so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to an undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moment you just acted out.
Goodness, are you sure, counsel?
You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Oh, great. More. Where's the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? Oh, I got it. Okay. The autopsy report, right? Because she was shot in the back. He was shot in the back, right? So they weren't facing each other. I mean, even the picture shows that he was shot in the back too, but
Take that!
I'm gonna go with that. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of, "Give me that gun," followed by the gunshot.
Indeed. With the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so we've been led to believe.
Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true, it would mean that at the moment of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. Exactly right, which they were not. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind.
Ah,
So, as I stated before, there is an undeniable inconsistency in your testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Yeah, good. Gosh.
Got him.
but it's the God's honest truth.
It is, Nash, it is. When he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes.
Was there another gun? Did I hear you right just now? You actually saw Mr. Winterbank holding a gun? You shouldn't have been able to.
Something like that might have slipped out.
He's like, oh damn it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question, they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun. Which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, they witnessed it. The Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person. Yeah.
Nash,
That's right. Bunch of liars. Who would have thought?
Order, order, order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once.
Well, the thing is, it weren't supposed to. Idiots, all of you. It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. Time to die. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. Die!
Am I to understand that you replaced the untruths of your original testimony with renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is, see, we,
cut it out, Nash, cut it out. If we blab now, you know what it'll do to us?
Who's he? He? Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There is no other option available to you.
Rev, come on. The game's up. The jig is up.
But you'll have our guts for garters.
Okay, who are they talking about? In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, it could be AG, it could be McGilded if he is still alive. No matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. So spill it. You guys gave me a lot of trouble in that last witness testimony. I am done with your BS.
On the night in question, it is now apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well.
Do we have to?
On pain of death, I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. Or else I will murder you. Right here. Oh great, another one! Encounter with the victim. Hopefully this one goes well. Encounter with the victim.
Alright, so we just go inside the gaff and heaved a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug.
Give me that gun, he bellowed, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it.
For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter.
Oh my gosh. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through that door into the back room.
We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear.
Wow, so that all happened? So that happened before he died? So you're not telling us that moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom, you in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop, and you literally got into a brawl. Well, yeah. Sorry?
Well, we find ourselves at an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably.
But honest, Governor, this time,
Nash, this time, we ain't got nothing more to hide.
Very well, counsel for the defense, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. On it. This is it. The moment I've been waiting for. Let's do this. Okay, hopefully I have much better time with this one. Encounter with the victim. So we just got inside the gaff, whatever that means. I guess the stockbroker, not the stockbroker, the pawnbroker. Okay, and he was a sigh of relief when the geezer showed his mug. Why would they be relieved about that? Okay, give me that gun, and then he flew at us like he was possessed. I thought we'd had it. For an old geezer, the bloke was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. I pulled my gun on him, and then he legged it through the door in the back room.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winterbank?
Who else? Sorry. I mean, that's right.
We was keeping a close eye on the entrance to the gaff, obviously. But we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbrokery storeroom?
Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place he could have been.
So, it seemed the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Ginny must have been there at the point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had threatened Mr. Winterbank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at that time?
What? That mole Tula? Couldn't tell ya.
No way, Carver. We'd had bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it. Interesting.
Hold it!
Let's just keep going. You mentioned that Mr. Winterbank shouted these words in your previous testimony too. However, you claim that you heard him yelling them on the other side of the storeroom door.
Oh, here, did we?
But the truth is, he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he?
Well,
yeah, maybe. Was the victim Mr. Winterbank wielding a gun at the time?
Was he ever? Blimey Loomy, a great ugly barrel he had, pointed straight at me frontispiece.
So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Winterbank with the gun at that time, is that right?
It is, Gov, it is. Spot on.
Then all of a sudden, he came at us, he did?
It was bedlam. I didn't know who was going for who.
You were clearly all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought we'd had it, I mean.
Okay. If he had a gun, why'd he run after you and chuck you over the counter? Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too. Oh, so maybe that's how the books got spilled?
Well, yeah, of course we did.
He knocked over a load of books, a candlestick,
and some skull and whatnot.
They got tangled in some marionette, or knocked over a picture frame, or knocked them scales on the floor.
So in fact, it wasn't the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter?
Well, Big Brother here went flying over the counter like a gunshot, I can tell you. Then the old geezer pinned him.
He did, Nash, he did. If he hadn't been there, the bloke would have flattened me like a bloomin' pound cake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There was a button under the counter used to activate it, which was presumably pressed by the victim. Ah, a security button. That's right, when the brothers fled the scene and back onto the street, they ran straight into the arriving police, didn't they?
Poor Mr. Winterbank. He did everything he could to protect his shop.
Yeah, poor guy. Okay, so then he legged it into the back room. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winterbank?
No, never. I was just, looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget.
By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. That's kind of the point. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it?
Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran off through that door and shut himself in.
Again, Gina would have had to have been in there. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true.
Huh. I wonder why Mr. Winterbank ran away into the storeroom.
What?
Well, according to what everyone's saying, Jenny was there waiting for him, with a gun.
Ah, yes, that's right. But she couldn't have. If they're testifying that he had the gun on him when he ran after them, that doesn't make sense, because she had his gun. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winterbank's gun to threaten him and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winterbank's hands again?
I have no idea, but that is strange, isn't it?
This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
Look, the point is, me and me brother here.
That's right, Nash, that's right. Me and me brother here.
Okay. You say you had nothing to do with it?
Nothing at all.
Nothing, Gov, nothing. The old geezer went and shut himself in the back room, didn't he?
Locked it was, from the inside.
We know it was, because we tried to open it.
But it's a decent door, that one. Good and strong. Wouldn't budge an inch.
So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the storeroom with the pawnbroker there was only one other person. The sole person who could possibly have shot the victim. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Ah. Her. It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina who could possibly have shot Mr. Winterbank? Now I'm all nervous when I get asked these questions. Mr. Winterbank himself. He shot himself in the back. If I say yes, then I'm gonna have to prove it. I'm gonna have to provide evidence that I don't know. I mean, are we implying the brothers could have? I'm gonna try saying no one else and see what happens. He's right. Gina's the only one. There was no one else in the room.
With an attitude like that, Bruno, it really will be all over.
Now a 10-year-old is reading the expression on my face.
Well, you just don't have that many. Wide-eyed, sweating, smug, and happy. That's about it.
Surely there's more than that, isn't there? Not really.
Anyway, I think we may want to consider some other possibilities here. Or rather, I think you have to, otherwise you won't get anywhere. Or rather, you won't get anywhere. I'm just here for moral support, remember?
And it's at times like this that I really appreciate it the most. Okay, so she seems to be saying, like, that I should have gone through with it. So that's all these brothers are willing to reveal this time, or is it?
They're still hiding something, don't you think?
Yes, I'm sure of it. And not just a minor detail, either. It was almost certainly because of these two that poor Mr. Winterbank, well...
You can't let them get away with it, Bruno.
I know, but I get the feeling that there's even less evidence at my disposal this time to prove that they did it. You've come so far. Now it's time to finish them off. Well, I'll do my best. Okay, what they're strongly implying is that I have to incriminate them and say like they could have done it, I guess. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Yeah? What?
What's that look for?
From the moment you admitted that you'd encountered the victim face to face that night, the course of this trial changed completely.
It did?
What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winterbank? And it is the belief of the defense that the defendant is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the storeroom, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts. So pray, what other possible answer could the question who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers to the court in respect of 2 conundrums.
2, my lord? Twice as many chances to be right, maybe? I hope.
Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Runo? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I am sure about. If I can prove that there's a credible new alternative to what happened, it would change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court in this plan the answers to the question posed by his lordship. Okay, I had an idea. So what if the victim, the killer, if we're saying it was the brothers, what if, you know, obviously we're going to say the killer was outside the storeroom, but if Winterbanks was running towards the door to get back into the storeroom, couldn't he just have shot him as he was entering the doorway? As he entered the room, just shot him in the back. He's running away, his back is towards him, he shoots him, he falls down. I mean, I don't know how they'd lock it from the inside. Gina would have had to do that, I guess, I don't know. That makes sense, right? That's what I'm going with. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. It would have had to have been from here somewhere, so like behind the counter, somewhere over here.
Take that!
The defense believes the culprit could have shot the victim from this location here. And in answer to the second question, assuming the culprit fired from the location indicated, where was the victim at the time? I mean, I don't know exactly, the doorway or like here? In the storeroom, basically? I don't know if it really matters, probably just anywhere in the storeroom. I'm gonna, near the door, whatever.
Take that!
Did I get it? That makes sense, right? Okay, I think I got it. The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Winterbank died instantly from a bullet wound in his back. Looking at the stain of blood on the storeroom floor, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is, where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired?
So you are adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony,
I pulled me gun on him, and then he legged it through that door in the back room.
Exactly, he would have been running away with his back to them. If Mr. Winterbank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time.
Ah!
It was at precisely that moment when the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom.
Now, grah!
Gotcha. I still have trouble believing it was them, though, honestly. Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the start of the trial? Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner, his report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. Ah, that's true. That is true. I mean, yeah, that's right. I mean, the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. So if Ringo was the one to do it, I guess that would make sense, but I don't know if that would be the case, though, if there was enough distance between them, right? Would it still have that upward trajectory? Poor man, shot while he was running as fast as he could to safety. Of course. He would have been leaning forward as he was running away. I guess? So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered the body in an upward trajectory. Okay. I guess you do that? So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winterbank?
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. Yeah, that's the part I don't get. You claim the victim was shot as he fled into the room? You also claim that his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock. But... What if someone else locked the door? Oh, what if... To protect him? Because maybe he didn't... Well, I'm trying to think. I think the autopsy report did say he died right away. What if protect herself? If Gina was already back there and somebody shot Winterbank and she was afraid, oh shoot, they're gonna come in and kill me, she would have locked the door, right? I'm getting excited now. I feel like I'm redeeming myself because I feel like I'm getting it now. Yeah, it would have been Gina herself. At first I was like, why would she? But it makes perfect sense she would if someone was shooting at them. Or him, specifically. Is that so?
Very well then, counsel. Present your hypothesis to the court. In the scenario just described, the defense's assertion is that the victim was shot from outside the storeroom. In which case, who shot and locked the storeroom door from the inside?
It was Gina herself. It's gotta be. I'm so confident I'm not even gonna save.
Take that!
Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. Preposterous. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? For what possible reason? Such action would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
To protect herself, and him, and maybe him. Ah yes, that's a tricky one, that isn't it?
Half-baked notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course, Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, doesn't it? It does? I'm on the same page, Iris. Well, if I were Ginny in that situation, I know I would have locked the door as quickly as I could. I mean, there's a guy shooting at him. Those two burglars had just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. I was about to make a joke like, come on, Ryunosuke, it's obvious, but after my poor performance before, I can't talk. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Lestrade and Mr. Winterbank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at that time, but at some point, Mr. Winterbank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom. Intruders, eh? That's us, bruv. If your theory is correct, that would leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger.
Bang!
Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Winterbank fell to the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done in that moment?
Ah, I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Winterbank. As soon as that thought struck Miss Lestrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it. It makes sense to me, in order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I ain't. I mean, we ain't the ones who done it.
We ain't, Gov, we ain't. You gotta believe us, I mean, come on. We never shoot no one.
Objection!
That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Yep. You definitely have it in you. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Windibank's murder. No, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Where does it leave us?
You mean to say he went the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all? I should have known it was the three brothers. They look as shady as a dense forest.
That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on your side now. I kind of forgot about them. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it. Surely they'll give you a verdict of not... Uh-oh. Nice try there, Ryunosuke. An admirable effort, my learned friend. Uh-oh. What's this now? He's laughing?
You find the situation amusing, Lord Van Zeiks? You monster! I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
Uh-oh. What has he got up his sleeve? I dare say. Such chickenry is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such blatantly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. Using big fancy British words. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly, credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Uh-oh. I haven't gotten this far yet. Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zeiks, might be an idea to explain this bally conjuring trick, or whatever it is the troops on the ground,
The fatal flaw in my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Boosh! Into the fire. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If he shot, Windibanks and then shot Sholmes, that would have been 2 shots, and we know only 1 shot was fired.
By George, count bullets!
Oh dear. He noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel? Yes, sir? Tell the court how many bullets were found at the scene of the crime. 2. 2 bullets. Yes. Correct. The first that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed.
The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. Okay, so, let me think. So, the only thing I can think of is if they were able to wrestle the gun from Windibanks during the confrontation, that might make sense, right? If they were able to wrestle the gun from him during their confrontation, you know, the 2 burglars, and then that's why Windibanks ran. Maybe he was disarmed, they had the gun now, and he's like, oh crap, and he ran. I mean, they had a gun anyway, but, you know, now he didn't have one, so he ran. Maybe they shot him with that gun, because they already had it on them, I guess, at the time. Then, they planted it on Gina. Oh no, but how would they have been able to do that if she locked the door right away? Nah, that doesn't make sense. Never mind. Did I read this?
The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through the body to strike the calendar.
Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are 2 firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonged to the victim, Mr. Windibank, and the Skulkin brothers' revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does. A single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these 2 brothers shot Mr. Herlock Sholmes right before your eyes. Yes, I did. Unless, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how the gun would have gotten in Gina's hand, but unless they threw the gun back Winterbank's gone after shooting him back through the slit in the door? I don't know. Oh my goodness. I think you'll find
That if the single bullet was fired from the brother's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means... Winterbank not shot by the same gun, stop! Only one bullet, stop!
exactly. Yes, this Niffany Street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, I'm about to rip it to shreds. It was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny. Wow, that was not intentional.
Order, order, order!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hallowed nectar into the public gallery. The janitor, clean it up.
Lord Van Zeiks!
But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can regrettably no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the person in the dock is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. And that has nothing to do with this case now. He's trying to emotionally sway the jury. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question with loathsome intent. As we can see beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. Yeah, we can't exactly ignore that. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. That disc. That's right, that was taken from us.
I'll be taking that whatever it is Mr. McGilda's down to the yard, thank you very much.
No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine.
I'm sorry, miss, but anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now.
Yes, that music box disc. McGilded's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winterbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article, which clearly doesn't belong to her. And with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket, I might add, but by brute force and brazen impudence.
Good gracious.
Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her years is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop if pushed, no crime she would not commit. The court forgets the fact of its peril. No, don't listen to him. I mean, it's your job to listen to him, but still.
I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence, counsel, as a grim testament to the defendant's character.
Who's that?
Lord Van Zeiks,
That was a higher pitched voice than I expected from him. Inspector Grigson. What? Yes, Inspector?
We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service, and, I think it was agreed that this disc wouldn't be used as evidence.
Yeah, what the heck, man? What's this all about? Why is the inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zeiks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting.
But those were the instructions, right from the top. The government bigwigs were insistent.
Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case, so shut up. Your warning is noted. Thank you. And by that I mean, get out of here. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord.
Indeed. Bailiff?
Okay. A metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box on the riverside is a note that reads, for McGilded. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and baseness of character. I really hope we use that to, like, turn the case around. He's trying to use that to smear, as a reminder to smear, what's her face? Gina. He probably has some other reason for bringing it up. There's nothing more to add. I salute thee. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. Oh, are we here? Have we arrived at the pivotal moment? I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once, for all of 5 minutes. That didn't go well. Oh dear, it wasn't even for 5 minutes, Runo.
My lord,
That Grigson again?
wonder if I might say something at this point? Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been stumbling about in a bit of a fog up to now, if truth be told, but all of a sudden, the answer is fully obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it.
Oh no.
Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you will present your learnings as of the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
Uh-oh.
Guilty.
No, no, no.
Guilty.
No. Stop it. No.
Guilty.
No, stop. No, Russian guy. No, okay. Okay, yeah, I saw that coming. So that means we're probably entering another summation examination.
We have a consensus among the jury, it seems.
When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. I definitely heard that saying before. That's been said in many a Ace Attorney game. That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Oh, is it? Okay, that's where I heard it. How dare he use it against us? Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be. Because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winterbank. That's beyond any doubt.
Very well. We will proceed with the second summation examination of the day. Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jurors ready? Garadev Squadron is primed and ready for action, sir. Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Okay, it's gonna go right into it, right? Yeah. Part of me was hoping there was a to be continued, but... The jurors' contentions. Okay, guys, we are gonna stop here. I might have kept going if I didn't get stuck at the beginning, but at least I feel like I redeemed myself. I feel like after that, I caught on to what was going on. It wasn't even so much that I didn't know what was going on. I knew what I needed to prove. Like I said, it was just, I wasn't making the connection for whatever reason. Like, it seemed obvious after I figured it out, like you know, that sure, Winterbanks had, you know, didn't have the gun. That's what we're trying to prove, right? That, you know, he said, right? Yeah. I'm getting myself confused just thinking about it. But yeah, it seemed obvious after I found it, but I knew what I needed to prove, or at least I was on the right track, but I just got a little messed up and I just couldn't figure it out. But luckily I didn't have to resort to guessing. Like I said I was going to, but then I just sat there thinking about it for a while and trying different things, and eventually I came upon that. But anyway, so far so good. It's getting very interesting. We seem to be, you know, going full force on these guys, that these two did it, but I don't know, there's something at the back of my mind, like, these just random thugs did it, and that's the end. You know, this is the final trial after all, right? The final case, so I doubt it's just like, oh, it's these two guys, we're gonna prove it's them, and then move on, right? Like, that's it. There's gotta be more to this case, like maybe a third party was there, like I said. Maybe McGill and AG, or, I don't know. My mind's going wild, but it's been fun. Besides that little part, I was stuck on, it's getting good, and we'll probably the next recording we'll be able to finish this section of the trial, and we'll see what these jurors have to say. So, thank you so much for watching, guys. Go ahead and like the video if you enjoyed it, despite my little blunder, and share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell if you want to know when more videos go up, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and bye-bye.